Building Green is presenting this webinar on behalf of the Energy Network, which is a local government organization created by the California Public Utilities Commission that provides resources and assistance to homeowners, businesses, and public agencies planning energy efficiency upgrades serving the Southern California region. These services include community education and outreach, such as these webinars, rebate and incentive offerings, attractive financing terms, and tools to help identify contractors that have been trained in energy efficiency. Additional resources help homeowners take the next steps towards saving energy. The Energy Network has a great program for multifamily property owners and single-family residences, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that towards the end of the webinar. Today's presenters are Carlos and Patricia Samuelson. Carlos and Pat received their Green designation by the National Association of Realtors through the Build a Green training program. This designation is given to those realtors who have received training in the real estate aspects of marketing and provided guidance to sellers and buyers on issues of energy efficiency and sustainability. It is now well established that green real estate is positively altering market dynamics. They also accepted a position on the CHIRP Claremont, CHIRP stands for Community Home Energy Retrofit Project, Board of Advisors to assist CHIRP, Sustainable Claremont, and the City of Claremont in a citywide initiative called the Claremont Energy Challenge in efforts to reduce energy consumption and increase sustainability in the city. Carlos and Pat have also been recognized by Century 21 as Centurions for outstanding sales achievements in 2014. They were in the top 25 teams in the West region. In addition, they earned quality service awards based on client feedback. The award is earned for providing excellent customer service. This is merely a short list of their many accomplishments. And with that, please join me in welcoming Carlos and Pat.
Honored to be participating in this project. We started this late last year when Pat and I finished our green designation in 2014, basically September. However, it did start much earlier in the year 2012. What we'll do today is I'll present some of the aspects of retrofitting our home, and then Pat will share what we went through when we did the assessment. Our objective today is to basically show the process of what we did to our home, a step-by-step. We'll talk about some of the education that we received along the way through our green designation, and then our next steps as marketing ourselves as green designated realtors to the community. Basically, it started in December of 2012. I was invited to a class that Build a Green was promoting. I believe it was the beginning of the NAR course that's now being taught. I was invited by Mr. Devin Hartman, who is now very active in the CHIRP program, as Leila mentioned earlier. John is now the instructor of the year for NAR for green designation classes. So we're invited by these two individuals. I felt it was important to attend. It was a 2-day course at that time. I thought it would add value to my real estate business. I wanted to understand who the players were in the industry and meet people that could eventually become team members or to build our team. This is where we met Home Performance Matters, a home performance contractor who is now currently part of our team. He is the contractor that did the work for us and helped us guide us through the process of the retrofit. At that course, as many of you have already done in your course training, introduced to the players in this area, obviously Energy Upgrade California, Solar Go Solar. We were told about the federal tax credit, all the incentives that were being offered at that time, and we felt that this is something we needed to take advantage for our own home, but as well as green realtors. We were also introduced to marketing and financing areas. At that time, looking back at it, I thought Matador might be an area where we would be able to find the resources for our project. We also looked at Hero. It was in its beginning stages. It's different than what it is now. But these were the two options that we thought could be resources for us, but as well as resources for other individuals that may want to retrofit their home. And finally, in 2014, you can see almost two and a half years later, we went on to finish the Green Designation course, which was taught by John Shipman again. Both of us completed the class, and we are so honored to have it. We feel very unique in the marketplace at this point. This is an example of that we've been asked to do this webinar. So thank you again, Builder Green.
And at that seminar, we received a gift certificate. So at the very first seminar with John Shipman and Devin Hartman, we received a gift certificate from Home Performance Matters to do a home energy audit, and the value of it was about $395. So we decided to take the certificate and do our own audit. We thought it would be a good idea also to offer these certificates to our clients. So this was our first thought of how we could incorporate what we knew about green into our business. This would give us an opportunity not only to share what knowledge we had, but to provide more value and to introduce the players of the green movement. So the assessment was done in June of 2013. We finally took the plunge. And I got to tell you, this was a truly comprehensive audit. It identified where we were wasting energy, and of course, our goal was to look for any cost-saving measures. Our inspection covered energy consumption, air duct leakage, insulation performance, heating and cooling performance, and then based on that analysis, and once it was all done, based on those results, then an analysis was performed to determine really how many solar panels were needed. Here you can see the blower door test. So our assessment, we were so surprised how intense and how thorough it was. As homeowners and as realtors, we're going to suggest that you definitely go through this process with your own home so you can see really what it's all about. Find a preferred contractor and see if they'll do a free audit for you. The whole thing took about 4 hours, and we learned so much about our systems and how our home was performing. So you can see again, that's our front door and the blower door test. Our next step was, well, what were we going to do? Let's start marketing ourselves with this. And what we did was we had a green workshop for our clients in our office. We invited, you can see right here, a copy of the flyer that we put together with Home Performance Matters. And as you can tell, Home Performance Matters are our preferred vendor and our team members. So here's a flyer, and we sent it out via email blast. We posted it on our personal and our business Facebook page. It also gave us an opportunity to call our sphere of influence. We invited our friends and our neighbors and family members. So we had about 20 people come, and we received a lot of positive feedback. It was truly a learning experience, and Devin Hartman and John Shipman really took the lead with that. So we felt we helped educate the attendees to do it right, the way that we were taught, and the way we were taught is to do the energy audit first. Before you go slapping on any solar panels, you need to know how your home is performing. So we gave out about 15 certificates to homeowners. And the key word here is to homeowners. We really wanted to be able to touch them and to be able to be more of a resource for them. You can see the truck there for Home Performance Matters.
So getting back to the assessment, this is, we finally got our plan together of what we wanted to do. Our house took a little bit more challenge because we have flat roofs. We have a mid-century modern, I'll show you a picture of it soon. But we needed to kind of remove the roof in order to get to these systems. We had no access, we had no attic, so everything had to be done from the top. So we thought that going through this thing would definitely add to our knowledge. At the same time, we wanted to do it to our home, and we were ready to take on the challenge. So this is the scope of work that we did. Here's a picture of our home. We're in Claremont. It's considered for your realtors, as you know, mid-century modern. So we have actually 3 flat roofs. They all have to be removed in order to get access to those vital systems. Obviously, the first thing that had to come off was the roofing. All of the roofing sheeting was removed, the old stuff. You can see we're down to the bare rafters, exposing everything that was running above us between the roof and the ceilings. Here we are, we see some workers starting to remove some of the old insulation, bagging it, getting rid of it, getting the cavities all bare so that they could be prepped for what they call attic preparation. Here's actually a picture of some of the old insulation, and you can see it's the more classic bad insulation, deteriorated. That was basically what was between the hot roof on my house and the ceiling inside the house. We were very uncomfortable during the hot weather and cold during the cold weather. This also insulation leaves a lot of gaps and spaces throughout the rafters and the cavities. This is again what they call the attic prep. Notice the boxes. These boxes are used to cover old recessed lights that I had installed. They're the old school style. They generate heat and should not be in contact with insulation. So they go and prep it, make sure that everything is covered so that they could fill it. You also see the hose there. This is the filler hose, which is pumped up to the ceiling, and they basically start filling it in. So once we install the lights, once we install the new air ducts, and I'll get to that soon, we go in and start the filling. Here's a glimpse of what it looks like. It's basically a recycled newspaper. I believe it's about 75% of it. There is some fire retardant mixed in there. So this is the choice that was recommended to us. It could be installed in walls as well as up in the attics or in the ceilings. It's a blown-in drill and fill type of insulation. Here it is as it's getting filled up. You can see every cavity has been filled up, every nick and cranny is being done. So that insulation, we're looking at 18 to 20 inches of insulation from the heat of the sun as well into the attic. It's been fantastic in terms of insulation once we finished. Here we see the air duct. This was the main artery to all of the rooms. What we did here is we removed all of the air ducts and heating ducts, and we've actually shortened them to make them more concise, more direct to the rooms that we wanted. So on the interior, we had to move some vents around to get them closer to the main artery, which connected the AC and heating lines. Here's the actual ductwork that they cut it, fix it, but basically we eliminated about 30% of our old ductwork that was just, you figure the longer the air travels, the hotter it would get because of the roofing. Now it's a shorter distance, more direct to the rooms, and obviously the more heat, less heat in the air itself. Here's what the old ducts look like. So they were basically running all the way across the room. We eliminated them, sealed them, patched up the roof, and then this is what the new ones look like, closer to the main part of the room, get more direct airflow. Here we are finishing up the project, or at least the roofing aspect. All the ducts have been replaced, shortened, lights have been installed, and now we put the sheeting on and get ready for solar and get it ready and finish up the roofing. At the same time, as I mentioned, since we had the roof off, this is the opportune time to add anything that you wanted to. So we went ahead and added an extra skylight. Not a big one, it's a 4x4. Worked out very well. We wanted to bring more natural light into the home. So here's what that looks like as we install the new roof. This is an interior view. It's unfinished, but this is what it looks like from the inside. We left the beams because we wanted to match some of the other aspects of our home that have the open wood beams. Again, you can see how much light it's bringing into our house. LED lights, what can I say? They are just fantastic. Low heating, very little heat, obviously low energy consumption. We installed quite a bit of them since we had the roof exposed. This was the perfect time to install them, so we went for it and installed LED throughout the house. We actually installed close to 26 different LED lights throughout the house, depending on the rooms. We thought this was the best option at the time, and we are so grateful for it. Our energy consumption has dropped, as well as what we're producing through solar. It's another picture of some spots that we ran into the hallway. These were new on the market. They allow you to swivel, so you could use them for more personal use. And we just cleaned up the whole. This is our hallway, just giving us more lights. We like to show art. That's our plan on putting some artwork on the walls, and that's why we went with this route. This is a shot from the inside. We also installed some efficient heating and exhaust fans in the bathrooms. That was part of the project. But this gives you a good idea of now what the filling looked like from inside the house. You see the new sheeting there, the rafters, and you can see I have a good 18 to 20 inches of the new fill of the insulation. It's just like a warm blanket on top of our roof. Basically the same thing, just with a different view, a second view of the same picture. See the crannies, the wiring all filled in with the insulation. Fans were part of the project, as I mentioned earlier. We installed 3 fans in all of the bathrooms. We also installed windows and sliders. In our case, we did something a little different. The contractor offers what we call a sound package. This is where one of the glass of the dual pane is thicker than the other side. It gives you an extra added protection against sound. We thought that was a good investment, so we added that to all of the windows as well as the sliders. We took the old style slider from left to right or from right to left and did these where they open in the middle. Here's a picture of some of the windows. We ended up installing 8 new windows and I believe 6 new sliders. This is something that was a little different that we thought we should take advantage of. We did not want the large white flange around the house as some of these windows offer. So we got what they call a new construction window, which takes a little more work to install, but it shows less of the trim. And then we had the contractor paint it to match the exterior of our house, so that it would match and blend in much better or smoother. Now we get ready for the big boy, and that's the solar. So you can see here as the roof was getting finished or was finished, now they come back and install the mounts. Basically what I call the money maker. This should be paid off in 10 years and basically pay for itself and help pay for this loan. What we did at that time, we also decided to add a reflective coat. This is what you see on commercial buildings. It gives us an added protection from the heat. It reflects it. It's something I need to touch up every 4 or 5 years, but should give me an added layer of protection. You can see we're all set up for the mounts and for the energy panels. And here they are. We basically added 26 new panels, 6.76 kilowatts. We also, if you notice, there's some additional rails there that we can install some additional ones. You know, I'm looking to buy an electric car, maybe buy a Tesla for Pat. So we're ready for some additional electricity in case we need it. This is towards the evening. We had to tilt them facing south. They figured out the best angle for them. I believe I get sun from as early as 6 in the morning all the way through about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So we got great facing and good solid solar sun rays directly all day. We just liked this picture. We thought it was nice that we had the sunset there, and that's what it looked like in the evening. And then to finish things up, we put a Nest thermostat, one of the smartest things they have. This company's on fire. They're doing a lot of upgrades with basically smartphones. They're programmable through your phone. They program themselves. Very easy to use, all digital. It's been great. Just a nice little added feature. And then we added some water saving devices as well. This actually saves water as well as gas. It basically shuts the water off when it reaches the right temperature and waits for you to get in and use it. You don't have to waste the water while it gets hot, saving water as well as gas. So after we finished everything, this is what we ended up with regards to rebates and taxes. And again, this was all handled through our contractor. They submitted all the paperwork. They told us what we were receiving, what we were eligible for with the tax credit, and this is what we ended up. I know it's different depending on the work that you do. So we received $9,000 for the solar and a little over $12,000 for tax credit when we file our tax this year. It took about 5 weeks to do the entire job. With regards to savings, I mean, you could just see with the bars, this is our current electric bill. We were on a level pay plan. I was basically paying $380 a month throughout the year so that I would have everything covered by the end of the year. We didn't have those high bills in the summer, low bills in the winter, and it balanced it out. My last bill last month with, I believe, 3 months of operation is $1.62. So basically, it's paying for a portion of the loan with regards to the savings that we are receiving with the electric with solar panels. How has all this changed our life? I can only tell you we're all sleeping much better. We're much comfortable. We have a consistent temperature throughout the house. We actually do not use the air conditioning that much anymore, as well as the heater. We definitely have less noise of the windows. But the added plus is that we are now conscious of what we're using. Even though we've taken these steps to use less, we're still conscious of where we could cut back more, where we're wasting, so that we take full advantage of all of the items that we've installed. So I'm going to turn it over to Pat to kind of go through some of the issues that we've done with regards to marketing.
Thanks, Carlos. So we've kind of taken off and running with this whole green marketing, niche marketing for ourselves. Not only because we think it's a good idea, but because we truly believe in energy efficiency and lower consumption. So here's an article that we were asked to do in our local paper, which is the Claremont Courier, regarding the effect of green labeled homes on home, how it can increase the value of your home. So that was the first one. Then, after we received our designation, because it did take a while, I mean, this process started 3 years ago for us, but we finally got our designation, and our broker ended up doing a press release for us, again, in our local paper, regarding the designation. And it was the first time that we were able to use the green logo, very proudly being able to use the green logo. We ended up combining this press release with an invitation to a launch event, the Claremont Energy Challenge. And at this challenge, at this special event, we knew that we would be introduced to a lot of homeowners that were like-minded like us as far as the green sustainability was concerned. So it's just kind of opened some doors for us, and we can speak more broader about the subject. While we are not the experts, Home Performance Matters are, we have the network, we have the team in place so that we know that we can refer our clients to them with confidence and be more of a resource for them. So what's our next steps? Well, this webinar was one of the next steps. We were very, as Carlos mentioned, pleased that we were invited to go ahead and do this, and we invited some clients, and we'll be using it. We'll put it on our YouTube and just promote it a little bit more. We're going to have an open house when we finally finish all our cosmetics, but we're going to have an open house, and we're going to invite our sphere of influence, our clients, our friends, our neighbors, and of course we're going to have Home Performance Matters there. as our preferred vendor and team partner there, so that they can talk more about what they did to the home and just share that experience with our friends and family. Our plan is to get our home HERS rated and Greenpoint rated by Builded Green, because now we know that a green label home does increase its value of up to 9% in some cases, depending on where it is. So that's going to be done shortly. And we continue to be involved in community green events, like the launch, the Green Energy Assessment launch in Claremont, just anywhere we can. And we also use that green designation everywhere we can. We put it on, it's on our LinkedIn pages, Facebook, Zillow, Realtor.com, Century.com. Anywhere we can, we go ahead and use it. So that's about it, guys. We're really happy we did it. We're really happy that we got educated in this process. Understanding more about home science was really important to us. And we can now speak with confidence to clients and say, hey, you know what? I think this house could possibly be green rated. Let's get the experts in here and see if we can't get your value increased. So for us, all in all, it's been a great experience. We're happy with our home and just happy how it has opened up this whole other arena for us in the industry. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos and Pat. What a great presentation on their case study for doing Energy Upgrade California Home Upgrade Program. I'm going to leave their information up on the screen for now, but we are going to open it up for any questions that we have for Carlos and Pat. I know that they provided a lot of information, but there might be some questions that you guys have about their projects, about some issues that they may have come up, or anything like that. And while you guys are thinking of these questions, do want to let you guys know that this webinar series is also being co-sponsored by Greenpoint Rated, which is a program that Carlos and Pat had mentioned. Greenpoint Rated is the leading green home certification system in California, with more than 31,000 homes certified, including single-family homes, multifamily properties. Greenpoint Rated is a simple, affordable, and flexible rating system used by countless builders and developers. It assures residents that a building is healthier, more comfortable, durable, and resource efficient. The Greenpoint Rated team is comprised of leading green building experts, and they helped put together this webinar series and set the agenda for which sustainability topics are most relevant to developers, homeowners, realtors, just like you guys. You can find more information by visiting builditgreen.org/greenpointrated. And also, there's always educational events such as workshops, webinars, and trainings for you to learn more about energy and resource efficient upgrades. And actually that leads us right into our next webinar that's coming up on June 5th. We're going to discuss what a realtor needs to know when a home has a solar system. We have an expert on assessing home solar systems. Additionally, if you or someone you know would like to earn the NAR Green designation, just like Carlos and Pat, we have the entire course series scheduled for May 18th, the 21st, and the 22nd in Claremont. And you can sign up by visiting builditgreen.org or using this link, which is nargreenclaremontmay.eventbrite.com. The course is free, it's educational, and if you want a refresher as well, you can also join us. It looks like we do have some questions, Pat and Carlos.
Great.
Let me get those set up for you guys. What was your cost for the entire project that you did?
It was up there. As I mentioned, we were kind of forced to do as much as we could because we had to take the roof off. So we had no choice but to, we could not piecemeal it and do insulation and then do one other item or something of that nature. So we had to do it all. But we ended up doing, I would say, close to $90,000 worth of work. We did run into some other issues and some add-ons that are not part of the energy. For instance, we painted the interior of the house, we scraped the ceilings. So we did additional work that's not part of the presentation. But if I have to give you a number, I would have to say about $90,000.
And then what was your net cost for the entire scope of your project?
My net cost?
Right. So after you factor in rebates and things like that,
Well, like I say, we got 9,000 back, so that brings off that 10 off the top,
right.
down to 80, and then we're looking at almost a 13,000 tax federal credit, so that brings that down. So what would that be, about 68, 70,000?
Well, something else also to consider, since we went with the HERO program, we will be making our payments through our tax bill. Part of that will also be tax deductible. So we're going to be getting tax deductions as we're making our payments as well. So we kind of looked at that whole scope. But I think when I finally did the analysis, and I'm sorry I don't have it here with me, it really ended up costing about $230 a month, which we know was less than our existing electric bill. So if that helps.
Great. And then we have another question. So besides insulation in the roof, what did you guys do about the building envelope? For example, did you guys seal it after the blower door test, or do any other measures that might have helped with the entire building envelope?
Well, we didn't do the drill and fill. We have an older home, so we have the thicker plaster. Our home does have insulation in the walls, so we basically insulated the entire top. The side of the house are, pretty durable as it is. So, and it already has insulation like the ones we showed you. So the sides, the back were all insulated when it was built. So we basically added quite a bit of insulation, as you saw, 18, 20 inches basically on our roof. We insulated the top as well as we could.
And remember, I mean, when they came in, when Home Performance Centers came in, and they're installing all of these LED lights, and they're and the exhaust fans, they're making sure that those things are sealed. So that is part of that envelope as well. We had now windows; those were sealed. Before we had the old aluminum ones. So those are all included in that whole building science of the, talking about the envelope. So really, the whole project kind of sealed up the envelope, and then the solar panels were added.
Mm-hmm. Great. And then what do you guys feel are your next steps towards improving the efficiency of your home? Do you guys have any ideas for what your next?
Yeah, well, yes, we would like a tankless water heater would probably be our next step. We still have the classic, so we'll probably add that. We'll probably add our pool to the solar panel. Let's see what else we covered quite a bit.
I would say landscaping for our house. We would like to go, get rid of our lawn. Water's the next big issue, as we all know. So we'll be working towards eliminating our lawn in the front yard, and then doing more hardscape in the backyard. So yeah, water's the next big territory.
And if we sell a few homes because of this, we'll maybe think about an electric car. I mean, if we're going to do this, and we must as well walk the walk, as they say, and we do have enough extra panels that if we wanted to buy an electric car and plug in at home, we could do that.
Yeah.
So that could be something down the line.
Pat wants a Tesla.
Great. Well, it looks like we don't have any other questions at the moment. We are going to leave our webinar running for a little bit. So if anyone in the audience has any last-minute questions, please feel free to submit that to us. I just want to thank Carlos and Pat for joining us, for spending the time to do this case study on their house. It was really great and informational. Again, here are their emails in case you do want to ask them anything directly. Yeah, I just want to say thank you one more time to Carlos and Pat, and thank you to the audience for joining us today.
Thanks, everybody. Feel free to contact us if you have any additional questions or information that we could share with you. We're at your service.
Great. And for everyone else, thank you again, and we will see you next time at the next webinar.